alphabet, because I'm going to miss it, aren't I? Because you've got J, L, 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 M, M, N, M, N, M, P, 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 Q, P, Q, M, N, M, and then you go, then you go Bazos. That's a bit cheeky. Come on. So get me sorted out. Very useful. Okay, a little bit of a summary of Foucault could even be a tiny bit of literary review. And you find some simple versions. I'm not asking you to be a big two-language reader, but you could just get some simple things from Foucault, and it would do some good. Because he's terribly good on crime and punishment and need for it, and it is a research method, and you can keep on referring to Foucault all through your book, all through your dissertation. Very useful for you. So what else did I say? Foucault should be a useful theory research method. Other state regulations might help to relate to the reality. In other words, the different laws in different countries about prisons.
Yeah.
That's also kind of like a research method. Problems with focus on images and long. Oh yes, some of your images are terrible. Let me find the worst. That's fuzzy. That's not my glasses. That is fuzzy. Is it not fuzzy to you?
No.
Yes. Is this fuzzy? It's out of focus. If that happens, try and clarify it. This is beautiful, crystal clear, in focus, really good. That's lovely. And then that gets a bit fuzzy. That's really crystal clear. That's really nice. But one or two of them were just a bit out of focus. If that happens and you want to keep them, just make them a bit smaller. So
Okay.
But that's fuzzy. Focus. I'm sorry, but that's really fuzzy. Focus.
How to focus on this?
Well, you have to put it through a filter. I don't know where your source is. Depends on your source. The pixels are there's too few pixels for this. Find it in the book, scan it, whatever it is. But that's out of focus too. Look, you've got pixel lines there. See what you can do. That's all. It doesn't. But if you really, really want it, you're going to have to show us you really want it, or draw it for yourself. Which is quite nice.
Sorry, I don't understand what is research method.
Right, a method might be something like it's a way of studying that you keep going all the way through. So a research method, I'll write it on the back of this. A research method, a primary research method.
Yeah.
Is you taking photos, your own photos.
Yeah.
Interviews. Okay? Original archive documents, your own drawings. That's called primary research. Secondary is library books, and downloads of articles. So it's all second-hand. Second is second-hand. Someone else wrote it. But you're using it. And most people just do a lot of that, but it's great if you can do that. And then there are other research methods which you may want to kind of use. It's a bit like this, but you may want like a bit of urbanist theory. When you presented in the first term, what was the urbanist you presented on? What was the book of theory when you did the PowerPoint in front of everybody?
The city never was.
The city
never was.
Oh, the city that never was. Yes. Well, you could that could be a research method that you could return to Mark Minkowski's book.
So, what's the difference between the reference?
Sorry.
Difference between the reference.
The methods.
Yeah.
Well, they're just different methods.
I mean, when I this sentence I take from this paper.
That is secondary.
So, if I write the methodology in the introduction, how
yes,
to
you
write
could sort of say
this.
I've used some of these things. But it's particularly nice seeing urban theory.
Oh, theory.
Yeah, because your theory, I would say, is Foucault. You know? And that becomes like something you keep on referring to. It becomes something like something that goes all the way through it. Like a thread in a shirt. So, you keep on seeing it happening. So these would be some research methodologies, which you've done anyway. So let's go back to what I've written. Problems with conclusions presented without evidence. You should have evidence every time you make a statement. Please refer to corrections that I've given it to take this further, as it has interesting potential. Any opportunities for primary research, photos, interviews, would help. That is, if you can come across them. Your photos or discussions. Structure could be simplified and made more concise. See corrections. Your structure is kind of basically your content. There's something about it that isn't quite yet organised, but I think you might get there. Maybe not quite this order, but don't worry about it. You can always leave that. That was your method is to omit page numbers. See, if you leave the page numbers out, it's very hard to kind of talk to. And as we've said all this, please refer to figures in your text.
Okay.
Please cite all the sources for your illustrations. I want to know the source for that.
I have write the source in here. So.
Oh. Good for you.
So this is okay.
Tell you what. I think you need to repeat that.
Okay.
Because I was kind of slightly thrown by that. Yes. And I haven't taken marks off for this, for this. But sometimes, yeah, that's all. This is quite good actually. Please just write it out again.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very, very clear, and that will do you some good. That's a nice thing to do. Anyway, you've passed this, but you might want to add some more to it. If you get 60, you've got a merit.
Okay.
If you get 70, you've got a distinction.
Okay.
I don't see why you can't get a distinction. You should try. You see what you can do.
Okay.
But see what
Wasn't this me?
Footnote. Footnote.
Oh, footnote.
I thought I'd written it all out somewhere. I thought maybe I didn't write it all out. So we'll just go through it. I thought I had a post-it on it. Sorry. So you want footnotes. What else have I said? Footnotes. Footnotes. Mostly there. You're very good on figures. I think you're great for that. I like the fact you kind of give me loads of stuff. These aren't very useful this time. I kind of just need a bit more. Sources is right. You've got the sources. That's all right. So you've got that. Some sense of the location and maps.
Okay.
In the country. You might even want to give me at the beginning a kind of a sense of a world map. Here we are, and kind of with just having a look at Australia. And look at that, my world map, and just kind of give me all the places.
Okay.
Okay. That'd be quite a nice thing to do, wouldn't it? So world prisons according to you. Be quite nice.